Coming this fall, the story of a grape who refuses to be crushed. One grape to rule them all, and one bottle to bind them.
Whoa, honey, what are you doing?
I was recording an intro.
Okay, that's great, but we got a podcast to do.
Okay.
All right, well, this is We Know Texas Vino.
Will, my friend, we're back at it.
I know.
This exciting? So episode 43, We Know Texas Vino. We're very excited to be here at this gorgeous property. My goodness.
Well, it's not just a gorgeous property. It's a gorgeous day.
Well, were you say that there's a time, though, where these trees really bloom? It's like the perfect time.
There's no trees out here.
What time of year is that?
Well, there's no trees out here.
Well, our listeners can't hear your logic.
There's vines out here.
Well, you're a Texas boy. When are those trees amazing? Well, Susie, when are these trees absolutely blooming to the most?
The trees or the vines?
Yeah, the trees first.
The trees first, and then the vines. Okay. It really depends. Okay, anywhere from, well, it's been as early as February.
Okay.
And as late as mid-April.
Okay. Susie has vines on her mind, so we probably should get there in a moment.
It is a vineyard.
We know Texas Vino, right? So we should after it. But well, listen, guys, we're back here. Will, it was a beautiful drive here today. Thanks for setting this up as well. So we're at a great winery here in Athens, Texas. I believe it's in Henderson County, if that's correct, which is kind of cool. So for all our listeners, get out here. I can already tell I'm inspired by a couple of these people I'm looking at right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. But real quick, Will, we've done it. 43. We're heading the right direction. We're going to finish up 2023, getting ready for 2024.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's amazing that we've been doing this almost a whole year.
Almost a year.
Yeah, 2 weeks short of a full year.
Okay.
But January 18th, the next year, will actually be one full year.
That's cool. And so we're going to try. I know originally you're like, let's do like 58 episodes in the first year. I said, well, let's back up. Let's talk to Susie, who's more practical and realistic. Let's shoot for 50. So we're going to hit 50. This is 50 total.
That's great. Yeah. You see how he calls me out like this?
Yeah.
And he just incorporates you like we've known you?
And it's 43 right now? 43?
Yes,
well, technically, we had some double episodes. So technically, this is the 48th episode.
Because I mean, like
50 is probably
realistic.
Realistic.
I'm a realist, and so
Well, we really try to do 52.
Okay.
One every week, every day of the week, or every week.
Every one a week, every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we've had some couple setbacks, stolen equipment.
Yep.
And just life in general.
Well, and
we need a good
Sunday
attorney
this year, 2 Sundays this month are holidays.
Yep.
Good point.
Yep.
That's right. Christmas, New Year's.
We try to get ahead of ourselves so that way we cover the holidays too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's exciting.
I said try.
I think it's exciting to know that you're going to be in the editing booth on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve editing while I'm down here at this beautiful winery hanging out with these two awesome kids. So
you see how I get treated over here?
Yeah. Well, listen, folks, we're really glad to have you here. We'll real quick review how people can reach out to us and connect with our activity.
Well, you can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino, and then on any kind of podcasting platform, and that's always a tongue twister for me.
Say it again.
Podcasting platform.
You nailed it.
And at the end of this year, Google Podcast is actually going away. So you need to find us on like Amazon or Spotify or Pandora or what's the other ones?
They know. If they're listening to this, they know.
But Apple Podcasts.
And so we didn't talk about this in the 42nd episode, but we'll talk about here. But how many countries are we now in?
So we are listening to 30 different countries right now. Wow. And here's what's really crazy is the outside of the U.S., you have Germany, Mexico, and Cambodia. I did say Cambodia.
Cambodia is a big wine drinking country.
It just came out of nowhere. Cambodia just popped up on the charts out of nowhere.
A lot of fans in Cambodia.
So it flops between those three every month.
Interesting.
That's too funny, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it?
So thousands of listeners, which we're excited about. So we're going to showcase this winery in particular today because we want to really highlight. And again, I'm having a great time already. So it's really fun to be able to, achieve these highlights and these, and just really advocate for the wine community here in East Texas. So should we get after it? Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm looking at two awesome people. This is Susan and I believe her son, William. Is that correct?
I thought her name was Susie.
Well, I started with appropriate, and then I thought maybe I'd get a little bit more frisky later.
Okay. Got it.
Susan,
don't let him get
tell us
frisky.
about yourself. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am Susan Steger. I am an attorney with Fragaman Global Immigration Law Firm. And I am also the viticulturist and enologist here at Terra Winery and jack of all trades here.
Wow, that's a big role.
That is a big
role. It is a big role.
Do they call you the queen, or how's that work? Queen bee?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Will.
Trust me, I will.
I think I have names that I probably don't want to hear about.
Yeah, yes. And then,
Taskmaster or something.
Like
slave driver.
Driver, yeah.
I love it. Well, just hard worker and a jack of all trades, right? You pretty much do it all. When you're owner and you're winemaker and you're doing everything, manager and and keeping those grandkids I saw running around, keeping them in line, teaching them. So real good.
Yeah.
And William, how about you, young man? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name is William Pierce. I help manage the winery, and I also help manage the brewery in town. And that's what I actually started with about 8 years ago. And then I grew up here on this property, helped plant all these things you guys are looking at.
Very nice.
Basically just been in the business since I was 12.
A pup.
So,
yeah. And tell us about your view. We're sitting here at the perfect table, aren't we, William?
Yeah.
We're looking out over this.
Nice.
So what am I looking at here now? So describe it to our
we've got
listeners.
our Blanc du Bois vineyard. This is our second oldest vineyard right in front of us. And we also have a view of our bed and breakfast, which is the old Murkison home. It's 4 bedrooms, beautiful place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You can't see it right now, but the left of that is a brand new pool and hot tub that was just put in this year.
Oh,
so we actually have lodging here on property.
Okay, well, I read about that on your website. So that is the mansion right there, right? And
yes,
did I read it was built in like the 1880s or something like
That's
that?
correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who built it? That family?
Clint Murkison,
Murkison.
the guy who started the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, his parents.
Oh.
His parents probably built it or bought it or whatever. But
that's why that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, the staircases inside were shipped here from Europe.
Mhm.
It's got all the original woodwork. When they put the house back together, it's got all the woodwork from the 1800s in it, plus those staircases from Europe.
That is priceless. Yeah, that's amazing. So, Susan, how did you come across this property? I mean, was that family?
That was a long story. The short part of the long story is we had another property on the other side of town. And William here was learning how to ride a horse, and we took horseback riding lessons that went across this road into this Trace Trails. And my husband, and my son decided they wanted to live here on this property. The only thing here on this property was that house.
Okay.
There was nothing else. There was no roads, no landscaping, nothing.
Wow.
And so I said no.
yeah, that was
We
probably
live in
right decision.
the middle of town in Dallas, 5 minutes from work, right across the street from Highland Park Village. I mean, it was pretty nice. A year later, they talked me into it, and so the rest is history.
But the property was for sale.
It was for sale for that whole year. Yes.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was 11 before we get, there was very little pressure coming from the 11-year-old.
Right.
I just wanted to please my family.
That's cool. You're nurture. You're the matriarch. You got to please your family. But so you weren't pressured. Was it, William, part of your vision as an 11-year-old? How could that be possible? Or you just want to play on the hills and play in the trees, right?
I wanted to get out of Dallas.
You want to get out of Dallas. Yeah, very cool.
Well, I have to say though, this is a really nice property with the rolling hills going downhill. You got the nice drainage and stuff. I mean, it's really beautiful, especially during the springtime when they're all bloomed up. I mean, it was just absolutely a beautiful view out here.
Different view.
Yeah.
Different view. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, this is a fun time of year. It's a beautiful day. And so I can see the potential, like what you guys are describing, but I bet in the spring it is amazing. Is that one of the things, Susan, that attracts a lot of your wine club patrons is the view?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. And of course the wine and the
ambiance, the view. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's very, have people like professionals come out to photograph it at all? I mean, this is that house in particular, I imagine, is a real nice backdrop.
A lot of people doing photography here.
They do. Okay. Very good.
We actually have quite a few shots in magazines.
Oh, is that right?
Really? No, you wouldn't know that it's there, but there are.
I'm going to look that up. Yeah, it's a gorgeous house, amazing. So it has a European, some sort of European look to it as well. Was that the point? I mean, just kind of bringing that, the hilly wine. Well, it wasn't a vineyard back then, but they definitely. It was
but by the time we bought the place, it was our vision.
Okay.
I think the year before we had no idea. Like there was no idea, so it kind of developed over that time of riding the horses.
Right. Well, so Susan's attacking the equipment.
Yes.
Not only is she verbally aggressive, she's now getting physically aggressive.
And we're going on mute.
So,
well, if you met Susan, she's only about 92-pound lady with a fun smile and just a sassy disposition. So, yeah.
92 when I was like 12.
Okay. Well, sometimes I exaggerate that. But, well, when you think of this winery, we just left another winery, and I kind of think of, okay, what is the iconic, bring people there? And it's the Longhorns, which is pretty cool, the whole Longhorn thing. But here, to me, that mansion is beautiful. But to me, William, what else to you is that thing that when you talk to people, because you probably talk to thousands of people every year, and what is that thing that it's like, man, this is memorable. This is something that's going to really bring me back. Yeah, okay.
Especially for Texas.
Yes.
And it's very organic.
Okay.
Because you could see stuff like this in Fredericksburg and stuff, but you're not going to know who did it,
right,
or planted it or works it, because it's all commercialized. This is not commercialized.
You still have dirt in your fingers when you meet them, and
very organic.
Very nice. Okay.
And it's a family business.
That's beautiful. Well, we always love that.
You can't really beat that. And
I
think that it shows through the 17 years of us doing this. It's especially if for whoever has actually been coming here that long, it's a completely different property, and every year there was something new added.
Nice.
And still is.
Who was that? Now you're 14. Okay, you were 11. Now whose vision was it? Was it your mother's vision to kind of start to orchestrate this and start to put this together?
No, not at all.
No,
probably.
No. Whose vision was it?
Obviously,
a lot of it
helped.
Yeah.
My dad was really the full-time person on the property at the time. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and it was his vision. I like the way you actually put it.
Yes.
It's very well. I guess very well put together, almost like an architect was out here.
Yes.
My wife works with architects all the time, so she's like, okay, this is how it's done.
That is a very big compliment.
Yeah, because he was really an artist.
An artist.
And it took me 5 years to figure out where the valves were to turn the water on. It turned out really good. And I think as a family, we did this.
That's beautiful.
And he was the guy behind the bar. He was always here, and
he really loves talking to people. Absolutely.
Very nice.
That was a big part of it.
And so it's a family ordeal, isn't it? This is legacy stuff. It's pretty cool. So tell us about all the family members. I see William here. Are there other family members, Susan, who participate, or is it the three of you mainly, or how's that work?
We have my sister-in-law, Claire, which is my husband's sister, and she is doing our social media now. And we have the boys. Mm-hmm. They help with harvest and some of the pre-winter.
My siblings also helped, like my sister and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brother not incredibly hands-on, but he helped with the website. And the labeling and design.
Oh, perfect.
And
my sister helped with close to everything.
Are you the oldest or the youngest or the middle?
Youngest.
You're the youngest.
Wow.
Okay.
And then Devin Daly, which is my nephew, he designed the logo.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little bit of family. Everybody's touched it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What?
But it's one of the things that I love about wineries, especially these smaller ones, is you got family all into it.
Yes.
Very very rarely do you find that any of the wineries doesn't have family all into it. Now there's one or two family members that are the black sheep that don't want to have anything to do with it, but yet they still want to drink the wine. Oh, you want to drink some wine? You need to work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good rule, actually. You want wine? You better give me about 6 hours
It's
out of
actually
the
a very
vineyard.
effective form of currency.
It is a very good.
It is.
Absolutely. Well, I read it also. This is the oldest winery in Henderson County, so that's kind of cool that you guys. So, how old is the winery, William? How old is this? Like the building we're in now? Give us perspective.
Years now.
Oh, wow.
This 17. We're at 17.
Wow.
Almost 18 years.
Okay.
Wow.
We purchased a property in 2005.
Okay.
So
These two handsome fellas. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Saw you guys watching football. Those are your boys. All
Two
right.
of the three.
Why aren't they working?
Oh, that's what that work looks like.
Oh, that's what their work
right
looks
now.
like. I thought you were gonna do like the whole stereotypical. Had the kids out in the vineyard when we got here, pulling things and moving and mowing the lawn. Yeah, right.
Give
They
them
were
shovels.
just mowing the lawn at the house.
Oh, good for them.
They're getting a little break.
You're watching a little football when I saw that's good. Well, good for them. That's awesome. Well, I think this is a great place. So real quick, you two, tell us about some of the wines you have, some of the awards you guys are being recognized for, some of the things you're extraordinarily proud of, in addition to what the next couple of years are going to look like. That's a lot in that package. Sorry, you're an attorney, but I'd like to kind of know the vision and what's happening. Susan?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we are very, very proud of our flagship wine, which is Blanc du Bois.
Uh-huh.
And it has won awards over the years, including this year, Lone Star and Texome.
Yeah.
And we
Quite a
have
few awards.
this year we had a record harvest of almost 20 tons.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Everybody's
3.5
had record.
acres.
Everybody's had a record harvest this year.
Was-
You're
Weather
all
was
over.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weather was good last year.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so that is something we're really super proud of. We make about 7 different wines out of the stock wine, out of the Blanc de Bois. So we have the dry, and then we make 7 other wines. We also make a blueberry blanc,
Wow.
and it's made out of the stock wine.
How
And-
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we're kind of on a mission this year and over the next 3 years to market the Blanc dry and the blueberry Blanc. We've got some USDA funding for marketing. And so we're
Nice.
going to be taking that to the next level. We're also very, very proud of our 2019 Mourvedre.
That's
Just
such a
got
good wine.
the Lone Star Gold and Best in Class. And we're really proud of all our wines in there. There's about 20 of them, but
Okay. 20 of them.
we'll
Wow.
start with those. Will?
Yeah. No, definitely. The Mourvedre is very good.
Yeah. The Mourvedre.
I like it.
That's the most elaborate answer I've heard all day. It's good.
Yeah,
It really
it is
I
good.
really like it. It's,
Yeah.
It's a nice peppery up note up front, and then it finishes really smoothly. I really like it. So when I went to 2 festivals recently, and that's the wine I was pushing for sure.
I know you pushed it on me while I
Yep,
was.
that's probably correct. And then obviously the Blanc de Bois, because it's kind of, we grow it. We've evolved it to where it is now, and along with our winemaker Mike Sipowicz, but it's really started to shine. We always believed in the grape, but now other people are starting to believe in it too, which is cool.
Yeah.
You see it a lot more often now than you did 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So
But
What?
I brag about y'all's
I
Blanc
was
de Bois
going to
all the
say,
time.
you came in
All the
bragging
time.
about this. Yeah.
And I've been down here for Mother's Day weekend. I was telling you before the show, had a glass of water, had Blanc de Bois right next to it. And I thought I was grabbing the glass of water and drinking. Of course, when you get that on your taste buds, expecting water.
yeah,
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise.
It is. It
Great
is.
water.
It's,
Great water.
it's very refreshing.
Yes.
It goes with food. Fantastic. It goes.
Yeah.
It goes really well with the pool. It goes with everything.
It goes with everything. I love
Especially
it.
the pool.
Michael, no skinny dipping.
No, don't challenge
with
me.
art, with food, with dancing,
Oh
everything.
yeah. It's amazing. And I when I first got introduced to it here, all of a sudden it's like everywhere I started saying, "Oh, we're having Blanc de Bois, Blanc de Bois, Blanc de Bois," and I've tried it at other places, and they're good, but they're not as crystal clear as y'all's was. I mean, I had to brag on y'all on that. It was very crystal clear. Like I literally thought it was water at first.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
You
a
know.
process.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you both are super proud of that for sure. I'll
Yeah.
try it before I leave. That sounds amazing. But
Yeah.
being here 17 years, you guys, that's impressive because a lot of the small wineries we meet, there's a 3-4. They're the COVID wines, right?
COVID
the wineries,
wines,
yeah,
yes.
they started up right in the middle of it all. But so you guys have been here. So what are in this area? This is East Texas, in my opinion. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the gateway to East Texas.
Gateway
here
to
at-
East Texas.
Here at Terra.
What are the biggest obstacles out here, like with weather and Mother Nature, perhaps, but also what are some things Susan? Why does she stop smiling? I don't know if that's the question she didn't
Well,
want to hear.
William starts laughing as
just
soon as
funny.
starts going
That's
to
because
frown.
he's losing it. Go over the she's a realist.
I think we've really been blessed with the weather. We have little microclimates in here, and we seem to really this year we missed the freeze, which a lot of
people.
Oh, I got hit.
the people further east got hit with the freeze. We do have some successful spots down below. The further you get down in the vineyard, there might be a little freeze damage, but just the way this sits on the hill in the sun, I think we're really very, very lucky. Now, during Snowvid,
Which one?
Snowvid, the big
2021,
Snowvid, 2021, we did lose our entire crop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And-
a lot of people
Everybody
did.
else,
And
yeah.
we also lost pretty much the 18-year-old plants from the top, right? But we
Yeah.
regrew everything from the bottom. We just regrew it from the stalk. And we've had record harvests since, and we did this very successfully. I think some vineyards really did not do that very successfully. It really reinvigorized our entire vineyard.
Did you document that and were able to share that with some people? Because it's something you took your own strategy. You're like, we have got to do something here.
I
to
did.
keep
I didn't
it.
even follow my consultant's advice.
Yes.
I did exactly what I wanted to do, and
Yeah.
it worked very, very well.
Beautiful. And a success story there. That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
love learning new things about that. So it's cool. And so now you're having record harvest, which is pretty cool. Do you think that is literally connected to that decision?
It's a number of different factors. We very aggressively pruned the vineyard. So if you look down here, there are, against a lot of advice, there are multiple trunks and multiple cordons. Okay. And so we did that for a couple of years. There were also very, very long cordons,
Right.
which you're not supposed to do.
Yes,
Okay. You're supposed to
correct.
cut them off at 12 inches, right? But this is a very vigorous plant. The rootstock is, anywhere from 15 to 18 years old.
Okay.
So it is very, very strong, very vigorous.
Nice.
So that's what we've done this year. We will probably prune it back a little heavier because we're going to go ahead and establish it more in a traditional 2 cordons instead of 4 or 5.
Okay. That's cool though.
Yeah.
So that's set. One of my questions always is what sets you apart, right? And when you agree that you kind of are being more creative and innovative, or maybe it's out of panic mode, but it doesn't matter to me. You're doing some things that maybe a lot of people would not get out of their comfort zone and do.
That's probably true because we have a consult. I love my consultant, Fritz Wetzover.
I was going to ask you if it was Fritz.
He's and he's a long-time friend, and we've been in the industry a long time. So, but sometimes after you've been out here for the number of years that we've been here, sometimes you just know what to do, right? And so between his advice and my history in the vineyard, I've always been very hands-on in the vineyard from the very beginning. And so, I think we kind of did something different.
Well, I think it obviously worked. I think it's cool when people try. That's how generations learn, though, right? You learn from sometimes even a mistake, and so that's pretty cool. Don't let the mistakes. It's like we're selling the winery. We're selling it. Right?
Lots of mistakes, And I gotta say that I can't do this without my son and our wonderful staff.
Right.
This is not something I do by myself.
It's gotten too big.
Yeah.
It's very big.
It's too big now to do by yourself. There's no way.
Well, I mean, what do they say? It's 1 acre of vines is handable as you're able to. Let me start this over again.
Edit.
1 acre. 1 acre of vine is manageable by one person, or was it 2 people? I read.
Probably one.
I think it's 1.
Ask Susan. She knows.
But I heard that if you have more than 1 acre, you need at least 5 people, 6 people to actually manage the vines.
I think tools
matter.
Tools.
Yeah.
Tools are great.
Yeah.
Tools are
well,
the first vineyard was toolless.
The first vineyard was toolless.
I remember that very clearly.
That's beautiful.
Like the first bottling.
Yes.
I bet that was miserable.
It was quite funny, actually. My husband invited his 3 sisters out here, and he put them to work bottling.
Oh, I love it.
How was that? How'd y'all bottle?
With a
Old school.
With a little, it had 1 nozzle.
Yep.
Okay. And I don't know, somehow the wine got in there and that was it. It was a one it took, and he put his I felt so bad. His sister, he flew his sisters here, had them fly here from California, and then he put them in there, and there was no air conditioning or anything back there. And he says, okay, bottle up this wine. It took him like 9 or 10 hours to do
beautiful.
9
They're
cases.
from the coast. It's like always 68 degrees.
I felt
105.
I felt terrible because I think that was just their family dynamic. Like the men would get the sisters there, and then they wouldn't do anything. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is
That's a
funny.
classic story.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And I'm sure they talk about that frequently. That's pretty cool. Well, it sounds like you guys, I mean, you do a great job here and you got your hands in the middle of it. Like I always talk about ownership and like, management. They always have like dirt in their fingernails, of course, because they're right in the middle of at least a good vineyard. But it sounds like you guys started maybe doing some beer as well, William. So how did that all start? I noticed on your website, I'm like, this is kind of a cool topic.
I had a life decision when I was 20. Oh, not even 21 yet. I was 20.
So you had grown 10 years on this story because you started at 11 and now we're at 21. So
I just kind of blacked out that whole thing. And just kept helping. And
That's what happens when you drink too much.
I helped run the kitchen. I helped run the front of house. I would never really got too involved with the chemistry, which I had mentioned when we took that call. I was like, if you guys want to talk about chemistry, I'm not really too keen on that, especially for the wine. But I know the business of wine and the food and in front of house management and keeping people happy.
Nice.
That I'm quite good at. So I left. I went to school, and then I was going to go into.
Did you really go to school?
Yeah, I mean, I went to school.
What school did you go to?
School, but you didn't go to school.
Yeah, I mean, I was like around.
He went to a frat.
I went to a round school. For a little bit. I mean, for a semester, and then I left because I was like, this isn't my life. That's not a good decision. And then I went to Austin to, find myself. And
I see blew that off just a little bit.
Well, that's one of my oldest boys in Austin finding himself right now. So
exactly.
Great.
It's a great time, and I was close to school. It was very close.
Mm-hmm.
Took some classes, and then
nice.
I was going to go to trade school for computer science, but my mom was like, "Well, hold on, come check out this building in the middle of town." And so this, on the square in Athens, we've got a lot that's basically 2 buildings, but one building had fallen down. It was just empty. And we have a nice 3-story building with a basement that we bought our brewery in.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, that sounds like a better decision. I'll start the brewery. And so we did. And then, not everybody, like in Austin, you can get away with beer, and I'm sure wineries too, where you can just get away with just wine. You don't need food. Not here. So
Okay.
It's very shortly after the restaurant followed. And now it is a I've got a really good team.
That's huge.
And they do a really great job. And
is that the bistro then? That's the bistro there? Because
it's called Athens Brewing Company. It's not really a bistro.
Okay.
It's more like gastropub stuff.
Okay. Fun. All right.
Yeah.
And we like to try to up. We want to be the best restaurant in Athens. So we try
goal.
to compete for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you won it several times. I bet I can tell you're proud. I mean, that's pretty cool what you're accomplishing
we're
there.
Definitely proud of it.
Yeah, far out. That's really cool.
Yeah, and we sell our wines there too.
Yeah, and our wine's sold there too. And we actually, that's why we started, which now you see everywhere. Everyone figured it out. But the wine shine, I don't know if you guys have heard of this type of wine, but it's just very fortified and stripped. It's supposed to be like a liquor.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time in COVID, this is right when COVID happened, I was like, we need mixed drinks. We need something to do. We're a dry county, so we can't start making liquor.
Yep.
So we created the Wine Shine, which is now everywhere. Everybody uses wine-based reinforcements for their mixed drinks if you can't serve liquor.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah,
No,
but we started it.
We started that.
It's called Wine Shine.
Wine Shine. Okay. Wow. I'm going to research that. Are you typing that in right now?
It's recorded, so we won't have to.
True.
I don't really need to type that.
you did hit the record
Yeah,
button. Okay.
did
That's
you-
cool.
I'm supposed to hit the record button.
No.
Did you remember to hit the record button?
We actually had one where he gave me this look. This was about a month ago. He gave me this look, and I'm like, what? He's like, I didn't hit record. So, okay, let's redo that. But
Yeah, it's happened maybe
twice.
once.
Oh, once.
No, okay,
Let's
twice.
go once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, you guys are having success here in Athens then. So you guys are here. You're established now. How awesome is the community, and what kind of support are you guys getting here? It sounds like you, both of you are just awesome with people, but it sounds like that's one thing you take pride in. Connecting with the community. So I have community members here now. They're probably listening to our podcast, but how cool is that your Athens community and surrounding communities are participating in your vision?
At first it was kind of a challenge.
Okay.
But I think as time goes on, people used to look at us as probably like, oh, they're from Dallas. They're not supposed to be here. Because Athens was a very small town at the time.
Yeah.
Close knit.
I think, I don't remember when it happened, but it wasn't that long ago. But now we are part of Athens for sure, especially when we got the brewery. I think that made a big difference because we gave something for people to do.
Well, you added value to the community.
Well,
and
you're
in
putting back
retrospect.
into it, yeah.
And the community really made that happen for us.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah,
100%.
all I did was sign the papers. I mean, the permitting, everything was done for us.
Yeah.
So they wanted something like that, and they just happened to drop
helped
that.
us do it.
Yeah, they have to drop that little dime on you. And it's like, okay, let's do
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure they're the ones who initiated the conversation about that building.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's that's kind of a cool
Yeah.
deal.
And
Fall in your lap.
It's kind of amazing how we've heard, what was it, the last, 3 or 4 wineries that we've recently done, that it's just been seriously just fall in their lap, and people literally didn't have to jump through hoops to get the permits and stuff. It was just done.
Well, the communities or the little towns want something like that. It uplifts the town. I mean, it gives spirit to the town.
Well, it puts back into the community also.
Yeah. And you guys participate in that as well, kind of the extracurricular things outside of that?
Yeah.
Nice.
We do.
Those were both yep answers.
Yes.
Generally, when you have a conversation, you want to elaborate. I'm no attorney, but I know that yep doesn't get it done.
Yeah, you're
right.
right. Over the years, we have participated in a number of different things. The community donations and the hosting, Congress people and the Heart Foundation and East Texas Crisis Center. And, over the years, we've participated in all those different things.
Giving back.
Yeah.
Paying it forward. Yeah, because you guys are blessed here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. The mansion, do you have another question, Will?
No.
Okay. You gave me that look. I get a question. So the mansion's awesome. I did also read your website, and I'm intrigued by this because my wife's going to absolutely love it. Do you have camping facilities here as well, William? Or how's okay, tell us about that. So what all can people do here?
It's raw camping.
Raw camping.
Raw camping.
That's not glamping.
Tent.
Nope.
Sleeping bag.
Glamping.
You can literally just find a spot on the outside of the outskirts of the vineyard
And set up camp.
and set up camp.
Michael, I'll bring the AC for you.
That is
So-
that's
And the
raw.
spicy-
That is raw camping.
No,
That's
I'll
like
bring-
just going into
so-
the woods and
So
finding a
during
spot.
COVID was very
man, there
very
were so
popular.
many
There were
people.
tents
Seriously.
everywhere, right?
Are
And
you-
we were open because we have outdoor seating. And it was just busy. Now, I got to tell you, next April, something's happening.
Eclipse.
Yes. And I had to up the camping sites. Now, right now, we only have like 7 on there. I upped it to 15. It's full. So for that
Wow.
eclipse, we are already full.
What is where we are located? You guys get like the full 3 minutes?
I don't know, but almost everything here is full for
Yeah.
that weekend, whatever
Yeah.
weekend that is.
Yeah, I have it in my calendar.
And yeah, I guess it's a pretty big event.
It's
a huge event.
Well, I mean, we already had that one earlier this year.
Right.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool. Actually, I looked at. I was sitting there in the house, and I was like, "Oh crap! Today is that lunar eclipse or that solar eclipse." And I looked outside, and I was like, "Isn't it supposed to be dark
Yeah,
outside?"
it was like wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
walked.
Wow.
I walked out there, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then walked back to the house.
Yeah.
Well, it's cute is I broke out in elementary. Your kids can do this next one. I remember when I was in 2nd grade, my teacher taught me how to look at an eclipse, and you get a little piece of paper, poke a little hole in it, and hold it up to tinfoil, and you can actually see the eclipse on the tinfoil, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's wild.
So the next one, you'll have to break that out
Yeah.
and see if they can
Yeah.
do the little science project.
For
So
sure.
So
don't
yeah,
worry, Will. It was
Probably not just look right at it, right?
No.
That's
yeah, do the opposite.
Oh, that's
You're
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
too funny.
Yeah. So,
So-
we also have 4 hookups for electric for RVs and stuff. So we have Harvest
Nice.
Host and other people here.
And
with
you do
their-
advertise for that, or is it more spontaneous? Like, hey, can we do this?
Someone advertises.
Okay.
I don't, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's on the Harvest Host site, and then some people just know about us. It's just
Right.
word of mouth. So.
Well, you probably know Texas Wine Friends, Texas Wine Lover app, that sort of
Mhm,
thing. I hope
mhm.
you guys are pretty, but that also could be on there as part of the.
Yeah, I was going to say.
yeah.
Do y'all put on there on y'all's? I'm actually fixing to look it up right now.
Mm.
I think we might be on that one.
Yeah, right.
I know he's been here. I don't
Okay.
know that we're on the app.
Okay,
we
well,
probably
I
are
think
on
we
the
are.
app.
I
Yeah.
haven't claimed it yet.
I got you.
Yeah, y'all haven't claimed it yet. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked to me about that at Piney Woods Festival.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
He did claim that.
yeah, you need to claim that. It's free.
Yes.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
good
know.
advertising.
And they even put it on their tent camping also, and put your RV stuff on there as well.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of wineries who are out in the country like this who are starting to have RV hookups. Like,
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's what we have.
yeah, 4R has a big campground also. They actually do delivery service on ground.
Yeah,
Wow.
we do. We do too.
That's
We do.
sweet.
We have poolside service, and
You have poolside service.
yes, we do.
That is awesome.
we're going to have to come out here for that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
No skinny dipping though.
Well, I was wearing my Speedo.
We're going to have to. Yeah, we're not going to allow him to do that.
So, in addition to those things, what other kind of fun activities do folks expect when they come out here? Do you have live music? Do you have comedians? Do you have anything like that? I'm hearing some Christmas music up above us now.
We've tried. I don't think we've tried anything like stand up, but we've definitely tried live music quite a few times. And on certain events, it still works. But in general, it's quite a difficult business to actually profit from. I did it at the brewery for 4 years without a doubt, like just trying, like, yes, I'll hire him. Yes, I'll hire him. It's very difficult to do. So we ended up just doing it just for special events. So if it's a big event, harvest, or we have 2 major harvest events, and we also have like an Easter egg hunt. That's pretty fun.
Oh,
The
that's probably
adult
great.
Easter egg
Yeah,
hunt.
that's definitely the most fun event we've done.
Okay, you have to talk about that a little bit. That actually
Yeah.
sounds pretty fun.
We've got to talk about that.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So basically, the team we plan all these like giveaways, and they're good giveaways, and we put them in the eggs. And we hide the eggs all over the property, and we have one golden egg somewhere very hard to find.
Okay.
I think one year actually didn't actually get found.
We found it a few months
Yeah,
later.
Oh, I
months
love
later,
it.
we actually ended up finding it. But anyways, the eggs are full of prizes: wines, tastings, stuff in the brewery, T-shirts, clothing, and then so everybody comes up here, has some sangria and stuff, and then you say go, and it's very funny because no one wants to listen. people they don't listen at all. They just run immediately.
Yeah.
When you start talking, like, oh, it's time to go, and they don't listen. They just go straight.
You're still in the middle of your conversation.
I think next year we'll have to have bouncers to keep everybody back.
Tape, and just everything.
We had to call them back a couple of times because they weren't behaving. I mean, it's quite an event. In fact, there were people here yesterday talking about it. Couldn't wait till next year.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Well, it's competitiveness, right? We're instinctually. Well, it's because we're competitive.
It's the adult.
I'd be pushing
Easter
people.
egg hunt.
Yeah, I know.
Adults.
So, can you give me what was in the golden egg?
But night in the inn.
Probably dinner.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, that's a great gift. Yeah, great
we are
prize.
definitely going to have to come out here and do that.
Why not?
That'd be fun.
Well, just the way they're grinning, those silly little grins.
It's fun.
They know that there's injuries, there's competitiveness, there's anger, there's fun.
We'll come out here and set up, and we'll do it. We'll do it live also. That would be fun.
That would be really fun.
That would definitely be fun.
On your mark, get set, because you get trampled over it. People go, William's trying to hold him back. Susan's just drinking wine like the hell with it. That's all good. Oh, that's so much fun. Yeah, for sure. And then other events at all. I mean, you guys, what do you guys showcase here? I mean, you guys have wines.
Harvest.
How about the harvest? And then wine club memberships as well. Wine club memberships. Why don't you talk about that real quick?
So we have I think it's 20, 25 people. We have a pretty small wine club right now, but we're trying to grow that. We want to try to create an experience where people come in for like their pickup parties and stuff like that. We want to make that more of a thing.
Okay.
So that's one part of, I guess, I'm sure other winemakers, other wine owners want to hear this stuff. So it's definitely important to focus on that.
Yes.
It's definitely something we're going to be focusing on.
So for our wine club members, when they do come, we always have a nice setup for them, and the chefs prepare something special, and they usually bring friends who get to participate as well. And so that little party is growing. People are really enjoying that. So it's something off menu. It's just something different, a little appetizer.
Nice. Something special,
a taste with a new wine or whatever.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, I think people do like that. All the wineries we've been to, right? Not 54 of them, but about 45 of them. They try to be unique and bring in those people, like you said, William. I think that's super awesome. And so the food is great, but just having kind of that party atmosphere is kind of fun. And it's fun for you guys that you get to build those relationships and really, dig deep, and then you never know where that can go, especially if they're bringing friends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to help support the more intimate people that want to be closer to your winery, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people will come, once or twice. You'll probably never see them again. Just because they're not from here. We get so many people from Austin, from Houston, and
it's tough.
But for the people that are close and want to actually be rewarded for being here that often, there's something for them too.
Absolutely. So shift gears real quick. I think it's really fun. I've learned a lot already. But Susan, what's your favorite part of being here?
The view.
Is it? Well, the view. And again, I wish our listeners could see it.
Being out in nature, my animals, the people. It's. When I spend most of my week in Dallas and I come here, this is just the most
perfect,
relaxing place.
Debrief, just process and relax.
Yeah, and even when I run a harvest or help harvest or run a tractor or label the wine, I'm the only one who runs the labeler around here. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I like making a beautiful product in a beautiful place.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, you've done a good job with that. William, how about yourself? What's the best part of being out here?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of nostalgia for me, obviously.
Nostalgia, yeah.
I grew up here, so
absolutely.
I don't live on the property anymore, but I used to not that long ago.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful to also see my kids grow up here and stuff. I mean, I've got a different view, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely cool to see them live exactly the way I did.
Yeah.
And it's special.
I think we're going to say, like, that's where I broke my leg, and over here is where my dog bit me, and over there is where I saw the rattlesnake or something like that.
Everything they've gone through. So they got a lot more toys than I did.
Oh, they do?
Everything I went through, they're definitely going through it, Harvest specifically. That's the big one. Yeah. I still love it. It's great. Yeah.
Well, I saw the two boys are pretty close in age. Will knows I have a couple of brothers all real close in age, and we lived in Sedona, Arizona growing up, and where Dad would kick us out of the house and just go play in the desert, boys, and we'd go out there and build forts and chase rattlesnakes and do whatever. It was a lot of fun. So probably the same here. They have a huge, vast arena here. How many acres are here that you guys have access to?
This is about 50 acres, and I've got to just comment on the fort thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to build forts when I was a kid, and I sometimes say this is my big fort now. My real fort.
Yeah. You have moved on.
Yes.
This is a cool fort, by the way.
I used to build forts and trees and
Yes.
round forts and
Yeah.
ice forts and all kinds of forts.
Isn't that fun?
Anything to be outside.
And now here you are after all those experiences building this fort right here. This is
Yeah.
your fort. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
I think that's cool.
Kind of resembles some of my forts.
Well, I don't know what that means other than it's kind of cute. I love it. I
don't know
like
what
it.
kind of fort you had that had a working bathroom in it.
Yeah. Well, in a fire pit. Yeah. And wine.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They probably had some wine in them.
Where did you grow? Did I already ask you where did you grow up, Susan? Where did you grow up?
Anchorage, Alaska.
You grew up literally because you said Anchorage, and so you and I had a common out, but you actually grew up there.
From when I was 8 to when I graduated from high school.
I'll be darned.
So y'all probably went to high school together.
No, maybe we did. But more importantly, where were you building forts up there? Because my listeners probably know by now. I spent a lot of years in Alaska.
We lived on Wesleyan Boulevard,
Yeah.
which backed the University of Alaska property.
Yeah, so right in that area.
Right back there.
My wife and I are runners, so I used
acres and
I know.
acres of woods.
Oh, Will, you should see it. William, you should see it. It is acres and acres of beautiful moose running through there and wolves every once in a while. And
Did y'all get chased by the moose?
I've been chased by one moose, yes.
Okay.
Pretty big.
They're
Oh,
big.
yeah.
They're pretty big animals.
And they're very vicious too.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah, it was very scary, but good. Well, what is the vision then, you two? You guys are excellent teammates. I know mother-son combination here, and then, of course, your dad and brothers and sisters and grandkids running around. But what's the vision for you guys? You've done a good job so far. What can I expect in 5 years?
I think we're going to move to a more, we're looking to move to a more event-based wine tasting and food venue. I mean, that's what we're doing now, but we want it to be a little bit more organized. And so we're really working on that.
We want it to be more of an experience.
Yeah.
Which it already is, right? That
But
that's what we lean into.
a planned
But
experience.
A planned experience with execution and just more ticketed, I guess.
Okay.
It's easier to plan for something like that. And really, you can really give them like 5 times a better experience.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever, instead of, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what we have right now.
Right.
We did it for 17 years.
But literally, they show up, and there's 10 activities that are on the agenda. But you, knowing the two of you now, probably go beyond the extra mile. And there's probably a few extra little bonuses, so people leave here going, "Man, that was fantastic."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want people to
Yeah.
leave. Say.
Yeah.
Is that hiring additional staff, or just digging your heels in more and saying,
It's
"Okay,
hard.
we got to
No,
get
it-
busy."
That's the same thing there.
Yeah.
I think that hiring staff is very, very difficult in a location like this,
Yeah, I bet.
destination. We have a great staff, and I think the direction we're going will be able to execute with the staff that we have
Okay.
now.
It's incredibly reliant on staff, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, well, because I've been a small business owner my whole life, pretty much. And I know if they don't show up, guess who gets to do it, William?
Yeah.
You get to do it all.
And it's not even that. It's just it's not possible to do it right
Yeah, sure,
by yourself.
absolutely, too much to do.
It's
Too
just
much
not
to do.
possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the food aspect and the wine. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
we have teammates in the wine too.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have both feet in for sure. You're
Yeah.
excited about the future.
Yeah.
I'm excited about a more diverse experience more often, so the same people can come and experience something different. So,
That's cool,
So
too.
that's kind of and we do that on a certain level. Like for New Year's, we'll have something different.
Mhm.
For Valentine's, we'll have something different.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are the times where we
Right.
really.
You're saying for New Year's you're not giving out Valentines? Is that what you're saying? You try to mix it up a little bit on those holidays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Susan, real quick, do you
do you see what I have to put up with?
I keep people on their toes. All right, I keep people on their toes, not on their heels, on their toes. You're an attorney. Are you still in Dallas weekly then? And how's that work out for you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So busy,
I'm busy.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then come out here on weekends or as often as possible.
It's usually on the weekends. Sometimes I spend, 4 or 5 days here in a
Oh,
row.
okay.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
go back and forth.
Okay.
Mhm.
And William, for you, I mean, you're here. It sounds like maybe
Full-time.
more full time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
full-time.
run the shop. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. And then it's just a blessing having her here, of course. But then the kids helping out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your last question for me? Will probably has a couple questions. But what does your week look like then, William?
It's just whatever has to get done.
We hear that frequently. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a plumber. You're a gardener.
Between both places. I try not to do anything that could actually destroy anything. I leave that to the professionals.
That's a phenomenal philosophy.
Electrical and plumbing, I try not to mess with those two things if
Well-
they're out of my level.
So one rule of electricity is lick your fingers first and then
Right.
touch it.
And just
He learned that when he was
grab it
11.
as hard as you can.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I've done some pretty dumb things around here.
That's how you learn.
I'm
That's
just
how you
not
learn.
going to learn that way. I'm just going to let other people learn for me.
Susan, did you ever do the tongue up in Alaska in the middle of winter on a metal pole?
Did I do what?
The tongue. They tell you not to.
No.
My brother did that,
story.
and it stuck, and he had to rip that. It was bad.
Well, that
so.
says something
Awful.
about you.
Well, my brother. I said. I didn't say me. I said my brother.
He coerced his
Says a lot
brother
about
to do
my
that.
Of course, he did beat me in the 4th grade spelling bee. That was not cool.
Yeah.
The brother who put
That
his tongue
sounds like
on a
it really-
frozen pole.
I think he just more
My
beat
my younger brother beat me in the spelling bee.
Dang.
I
That is
think he
not
actually
You're
cool.
really carrying that
That-
still.
It's been 40 years ago. I am not happy with that decision. But
should have a rematch.
well, we tried that. He will not participate. So yeah, well, awesome. Well,
winner.
go ahead and share your hearts, you guys. We want to definitely showcase what
Yeah.
we're doing here. You guys have done a great job. I'm super impressed, by the way.
Yeah,
you guys are
thank you.
not only great people, but also what you have here is spectacular. Susan, let's start with you. Share your heart. You want to talk to our listeners, of course, your listeners. What would you like to tell everybody?
I would like to tell everybody that they need to come here and have a wonderful experience at Terra Winery. They can stay in our inn, enjoy our pool, enjoy our wine and the food choices that go with the wine. We host weddings, events, parties, rehearsal dinners, retirement dinners, anything you can think of. We host here, and we hope to see everybody.
That
Nice.
sounds great. Well, William, how about you, my friend?
I have a very similar message, like come out and experience the winery. And, for a lot of people, they can't bring their husbands or whatever. Well, you can, because we also have a brewery.
Yeah,
They also serve wine there.
there you
So
go. Yeah.
We got something for everybody to do. And, absolutely come out and enjoy it. And you can stay here,
That's
Yeah.
so
Hour
cool.
drive, you can stay.
Yes.
And one question I get a lot is, can I bring my children? And
Yes.
absolutely, people love to bring their children here because they sit here at a table. Their kids run around, talk to llamas and ducks and
Yeah, we
pigs
got
and
pigs, all sorts
dogs
of animals,
and
Yeah.
like
and
a
the
zoo.
horse Penny,
Ooh.
Penny the horse,
Penny-
which started all of this.
And
Penny
tell us
the
about
horse.
this dog. This is a German Shepherd, bro. I have it in my notes actually to ask about the dog.
Scout,
That's
yes,
Scout.
Scout.
adopted
Okay.
from William.
Okay.
It's now
yeah.
my dog. Yeah.
I got you. It's
That sounds
a
very
beautiful dog.
familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Long story with the dog.
Long story with the dog.
So, okay, so you sell your wine at the brewery, but do you sell the beer here at the
Well,
winery?
Good question.
Or is it
Henderson
because
is
of-
not wet?
That's right.
We can't.
We don't sell beer here
We
now,
do
but
not sell beer here.
you can get a growler and bring it here. You can sometimes you can order it and it can get delivered, but you got to buy it at the brewery.
I thought Henderson recently just passed a law making it wet.
Apparently not.
Because
You
my
think they know?
folks live in Jacksonville, and they've got liquor stores popping up all over the place now over there.
Well, they must have done what do you call these? You have to go into the precinct and get it on the ballot, and you have to vote it. And there's all these little areas are different precincts.
Oh, okay.
And we haven't done that here yet. It's something we'd like to do. We'd like to eventually. Our vision here is to have a brewery, a distillery, and everything in one spot.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like another place around here.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
I think we have the space for it.
Oh, yeah.
We have a very large kitchen. We have a large patio, and we have 50 acres. But we have to work on that.
Very good.
Awesome.
All right.
Private.
Anything else you want to
Yeah.
share? Yeah, you guys feel good?
Feel good.
Well, that's awesome. So we have a little education we're going to do here in a minute,
Yeah.
of course, but let's just hit our sponsors real quick, and then we'll
Well,
come back with these two kids.
Let's ask them one question. How can people find them?
Let's do that.
Oh, www.terrawinery.com.
That's
That
it.
is-
Yeah, that's it. It's got the directions, got everything.
You gave me a little humor earlier when I said Terra. I was asking you, like, well, Terra, what does Terra mean?
That is a good question.
Well, good time.
Okay, Tara, it's a long story. We were a boating family, okay, and this gives me the same feeling as being on a boat here. It took a while. We had a lot of stupid names, but Tara was the name of our sailboat that we had in San Francisco.
Okay.
And the name Tara comes from a little folklore book called Tara, and it's the hill in Ireland where you can see over the crest, right? So when we were on the sailboat, every time you went up to the top of the crest of the wave, you could see everything, and so that's why
Tara.
we named this.
That's
I see it.
that's
I get
Tara.
that
I
now.
get that, yeah.
That's
yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
we have a picture inside of the boat and the little book. It's on canvas. Going back there, yeah. And
That's
the
good.
funny thing is, the way we really kind of got into this, we were boating in White Rock Lake, and there was an auction, and Penny the horse was the auction item. And I used to like to go to auctions and always win the big prize. So I bid on the horse, and we got it while we lived in the middle of Dallas. So we had to buy this property out here, and then we took the horseback riding lessons, and that's what led us here. The boat led us here, and the horse is still in the backfield here.
Penny, we'll go
Penny, the horse.
Yeah, we'll go meet Penny.
Yeah,
she's almost 20.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you after this show here about some other cool things with horses up in Alaska, which is kind of cool. You might be interested in that. And then were you going to talk more about social networking or anything like that? I think maybe I interrupted you.
I mean, you can drop your spot for your brewery also.
Yeah, I mean, AthensBrewingCompany.com. That's our website. Nope, that's accurate.
No fighting. There's no fighting on this show, by the way.
Yeah. And obviously, if you just Google us,
it's pretty easy.
Athens, Winery in Athens, we're going to be the number one hits in both of those.
Yeah, roger that. So. Yeah, you actually were when I researched it. That popped right up, which is cool. Good. Well, we're going to get back in a minute here and do a little education, but you want to hit our sponsors real quick? Well, let's go and just knock those out real quick, shall we?
Obviously, we talked about them earlier. Texas Wine Lover. Mm-hmm. Jeff and Amy's created such a great app off of that, and so I belong to a lot of RV groups, and so I'm trying to get RVs listed now, RV parks listed onto that app, because there's a lot of people who want to go to Fredericksburg or come to East Texas or West Texas or North Texas and want to take their camper and go drink wine, and they don't know where some of the RV places are to go drink the wine. So I'm trying to talk them into that as well, Jeff. And
you know that filter system they have on that?
It's not listed on there yet.
If you typed in like 5'1" feisty lady, it would immediately bring you to this winery.
I don't know. What is Susan?
5'1"?
I just threw that out there. No, okay. Maybe 5'3". I don't know what it is. And then, of course, that's a great app, and we love Jeff and Amy. They've been really good to us. And then Texas Wine Club, Will? Have y'all heard of Texas Wine Club?
No.
So check into them. So they are actually a wine club of Texas wines. So they take the best of the best Texas wine. They go through a rigorous blind tasting, and they pick wines to ship out every 3, 6, 12 months.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's a really cool thing, because I mean, there's some people who just can't travel to the hill country or up to the high plains or East Texas or South Texas to get wine, and they'll have it sometimes in their shipment, and you get it and you get to try it, and then you can say, oh, I like XYZ winery, I'm gonna go down there and make a trip to go see them.
Right. If you have the inventory, it's really fun to get involved in that. That way you can showcase your wine all over the state, which is kind of fun. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And our last sponsor, flywithwine.com, which is pretty cool. It's our newest sponsor. If you like luggage that holds wine, definitely talk to these people. They sent us one. It's pretty cool. So when we travel, my wife's in Washington now, you just load up the wine and take it. Insurance covered to different places. So she's bringing back some wines, and of course you ship wines all over the place. So we'll be back in a minute with a little education, Will, and appreciate you, buddy. And thanks for these two awesome people here as well. We'll be back in a minute. Cheers.
Hey, this is Jeff Coe from TexasWineLove.com. We're here with Will, Michael, and Jen from We Know Texas, We Know.
And this is Amy Nemec with the Texas Wine Lover mobile app. We're wrapping up the interview and moving into the wine education portion of the episode, so stick with us.
Welcome back, everyone. Glad you're here with We Know Texas, We Know. This is episode 43, Will.
Yeah.
And we have some education. Why don't you take over?
Yeah, so we're sitting here at Terra Winery, and we're sitting here with Susan and William, which is kind of weird trying to say William and I'm Will, and but we want to talk about with wintertime coming up, and the vines have to go into a little dormant sleep because they worked so hard this last spring and summer to give us these amazing grapes to make us this amazing wine. What kind of process do you have to do to get these vines ready for the winter?
Well, it starts with right after harvest. We make sure to continue to irrigate all the plants, especially this year because it was so hot. So we irrigated, and that's so the roots can grow way down to be safe for the winter. The other thing that we did probably about a month ago is we went and pulled all the little covers off the new vines. We have a half acre of new black Spanish vines down in this lower hill over here, and so we need to pull all of those off for the wintertime as well. And then we did weed control, so we don't have weeds competing with the growth of the plants. And that's about it for the winter. We're just waiting for it to go dormant. It's been slow this year. Usually we're dormant by now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird that we're getting a really early cold this year, and for the looks of it, we might get a little early freeze pretty soon.
I don't know.
Usually our first freeze is in October, and by Thanksgiving, usually we don't have any leaves left.
Right.
Oh,
Which allows me to set up for pruning in December, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year.
gotcha.
All the cold fronts were quickly followed by
Yeah.
sun.
But basically, you don't want to do too much to the plant. You just want to let it recover. We did do a little bit of nutrients after harvest as well, so
Right.
the plants are as strong as possible to go into the winter.
How do you do weed control? I mean, I know how I do weed control, but what do you all do here?
I have my vision of weed control and then what we actually do.
practical
Okay,
good.
so somewhere in East Texas, there's a little sheep waiting for me to pick them up, a little baby doll sheep.
Yeah, yeah.
And ideally, I would love to have like a little herd of those sheep, and then they go through and eat all the vegetation, right?
Very cool.
I haven't gotten to pick it up yet. And we also have the ducks that eat. No, you're laughing. They eat bugs and things.
Right.
Yeah, they
I knew they eat the bugs. I didn't know they would take care of the weeds.
No,
And
but they do.
seeds.
They eat the.
Oh, okay.
They eat the little seeds, and it's kind of it's a sustainability project.
I love it.
But we do have a little tractor with a little sprayer, and
Okay.
we spray under the vines.
Yep. Okay.
And we use Roundup in the wintertime. We do not use it during the season.
Right.
So it's another product
Okay.
Yeah.
that is safe if it spreads.
So
right.
do y'all use like I know some places say they throw a little bit of lime out on the ground a little bit.
We threw out a ton. We did 5 tons 2 years ago of
Holy cow.
lime. Yeah, throughout
Wow.
the property. I couldn't
Wow.
find any last year.
Wow.
It just wasn't available because my back pasture needs lime. But this vineyard has been limed. Yeah,
Okay.
and we did it. We bought a special machines.
Machines
We
matter.
have a machine that spread the lime everywhere. Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Nice.
We don't need it this year, so we didn't do any.
That's great.
We did our leaf pull after harvest, and we did our nutrients and.
Well, you're obviously successful. So for the listeners and even future winemakers, pick the brains of these two people because they're obviously doing it right. So I just wanted to clarify that because I was kind of curious how you did that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very
Yeah,
much. I
thank you
know
for having us out.
William has to take off here in a minute. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick, Will, and have some fun. Takeaway?
Takeaway is, if you have a dream, even when you're an 11-year-old,
Yeah.
you can make your dreams come true.
He was pretty clear that wasn't happening.
Definitely
He
not
was
my
chasing
dream,
bugs,
but,
ducks, and different things.
Those
Yeah,
are the woods over
building
there.
forts. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my takeaway is just I love it when people do have a vision early on, and then just the fine line that allows people. She was talking about the boat, the boat terra, and there's how the fine line how you actually do something in your life, even being an attorney or being a young father or whatever it is.
Right.
There's a fine line in this world. So good for you guys for capitalizing on that and reaching out to the stars. Pretty cool. So
Thank you.
yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. So I always finish with a couple quotes. Last time I did quotes, they were not that impressed with them. I think they were too
impressed.
deep.
Yeah, they were
too deep.
Too much of the thing. We had too much wine.
Well, probably too much wine. So here's my first quote. Whether wine is a nourishment, medicine, or poison is a matter of dosage.
True that.
True that. Who, buddy?
Very
Does that go for beer? Does that go for brews as well sometimes? And my final quote of the day, I've enjoyed great health at a great age because every day since I can remember, I've consumed a bottle of wine except when I have not felt well. Then I've consumed 2 bottles. So, Yahoo. So, listen, we are blessed to be out here. Thank you
Yes,
for the
thank
invite.
you.
You guys have been nothing but polite and amazing and fun. And Susie, see, I got to break it out. Susie
Susie.
is really fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So come out, and meet this great family for sure. But
Yes.
I'm Michael.
This is Will.
This is We Know Texas Vino. Cheers.